What's the name of the show? Hey, everybody, this is Frankie Drinks, and I'm here with Sticks and Sips, the Drew Estate Virtual Happy Hour. So, listen, guys, it's awesome to have you guys back tuning in. What can I say? I'm incredibly honored to have uh, the most Nicaraguan show that we've put on. So, to go along with the most Nicaraguan cigar, not to give it away, but you know what's coming up. So, I welcome you to check in on the Facebook page, check in with all the different neighborhoods you guys are coming from. So, again, welcome. Make sure that you get your questions in because we get that beautiful Sticks and Sips swag. All you gotta do, hashtag Ask Frankie Drinks. Put your questions in for our amazing guests tonight. Make sure you get them in. Make sure they're great questions. And if we pick your questions, you get a beautiful package of swag. So, without further ado, listen, this is our Drew Estate virtual happy hour. So, we need to go to the menu to show you guys what we got going on tonight. So, I'm going to ask my man Jack. So, our sips tonight, we're going to start with a Nicaraguan classic, which is Tonya. And when we're going to add a little extra to that, we're going to add Moropotente as well. You guys are going to love hearing about this brand. Our special guest, Mr. Juan Martinez from Joya, Nicaragua, Mr. Jose Marcel from Moropotente Brewing. Plus, we got a whole Nica crew here out here, JDN crew, coming around. Our sticks for this evening, the beautiful Joya Antonio and the Antonio CT. Man, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. But what's a happy hour without a cocktail? Listen, I said, what are we gonna make special for our cocktail tonight? I said, let's do a riff on a michelada. So here it goes. Let's throw down that beautiful footage there. So classic michelada. You want a little tajin. You want to rim it on a glass, get that little spiciness going, and then you want to have your tomato juice. Super simple to make. A little tomato juice, a little soy sauce, a little. What's coming up is a little Worcestershire, Worcestershire, whatever you want to call it. It's that savory stuff. You want to get your little hot sauce in there because you want to make it nice and savory. And then I added a little bit of aromatic bitters to it, give it a little stir, and then you just want to top it with your favorite beer. I think Tonya makes a great compliment for it. So you can have a lovely riff on a classic Mexican beer cocktail called the Michelada. So I hope you guys got all the special ingredients. We will have it out for you guys. And here's mine. And I'm going to ask you guys to raise your glass for our virtual happy hour. So cheers to you guys for joining us. Salud, as we like to say. Oh man, that is fantastic. So refreshing. So I'm gonna go right to the Zoom. I'm gonna go around the room here. So I'm gonna start with my man Pedro Gomez, who's hanging out with us. He's getting his drink ready. He's getting ready for our happy hour.
Oh
Pedro,
yeah.
how you doing, brother?
Oh yeah. Bro, I'm doing great. I don't know what time is it, but this is it right here. You know what time is it right here. So cheers for everybody. This is Nicaragua to the next level. We got Jose right here with us. We got Juan, we got Henry, we got Joey, we got Sarah, and we got a lot of people. We got you, Frank. So cheers for everybody.
Cheers, Pedro. It's awesome
Holy
having you
smoke.
on.
Like the old
And
good days, bro.
well, we're
Absolutely, man.
celebrating. We're
Absolutely. Like
celebrating
the old good
everything
days, brother.
Nicaragua, everything Hoya, and we're super excited about that. Sarah, welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Frankie?
I'm, listen, it's the day, the weekly challenge of trying to put on a fascinating show where I'm the least fascinating person on the Zoom. So, I'm super happy to have you on.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm honored.
You definitely pretty up the room of ugly on the Zoom. So thank you, Sarah. I certainly appreciate that.
Good try.
It's incredible. Mr. Henry, all the way from Nicaragua. How you doing?
Yeah, he's muted, of course.
Yeah, it's the phrase for 2020. You're muted.
I'm happy to be here, man. Looking forward to a great show.
Well, listen, I love having you on. Right now, we're starting to take up all the bandwidth out of Nicaragua with your feed out of Esteli, and super excited about that. Next up, I want to say hello to my man Jose Marcel from Moropotente. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing tonight?
Well, I think I'm doing great. I already have 2 cases of beer. And they're really cold. That's good. When you have beer, cold beer in your fridge, you're done, man.
Well, listen, I mean, I think if that's a measure of happiness and success, then salute to all of us, right?
Absolutely. Have a cold beer is a human right, actually. It should be in the Constitution.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about Moropotente in a little bit. And, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Juan Martinez from Joya, Nicaragua. How are you, sir?
Frankie, good to see you, papi. Well, good, my friend. Think it's an honor to be in this happy hour with all these fantastic people from Drew Estate, Joya, and of course our dear friend Jose Marcel. We're very excited because we're kicking off a huge anniversary party this year with you guys and of course our beloved Antonio. So thank you for having me.
Fantastic, fantastic. So hold that thought because I'm coming right back to that in a few brief seconds. Thank you for not giving away the entire show. Listen, the man that's definitely last but definitely not least, the co-host of Six and Sips, my man Joey Drew. Joey, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm in the next room over from you, of course, as always. After we just had a savage feast of meat. So if we're a little sluggish, it's because of that. But the only thing to follow up a savage feast of meat is a little spark plug like this sucker here, the machito. This is the stick for that. So enjoying the machito, having a good time. Good to see Juan and Jose and all my pals here. So let's get it on. Let's do this thing.
Let's do this thing. So, listen, we went through the cocktail, we went through the hellos and the Zoom. I'm gonna dive right into our very first guest. And it's a man that needs no introduction anymore, but he's the president of Joya De Nicaragua, and I could read off all the accolades, but why do that? Let him read off all the accolades about himself, Mr. A man that I'm proud to call a friend, Mr. Jose Ignacio Martinez Cuenca. Thank you so much for being on Sticks and Sips, my man.
You just mixed it up, man. Jose is the other guy. I'm Juan. Don't forget that.
Okay, I'm sorry, man, dude.
No.
I've been, listen. I've got meat buzz. Okay.
That
So
michelada, man. No, don't worry, man. I have to say that's the first time I've seen a michelada with soy sauce. I've never tried that, so I'm curious to try your recipe, man. How is it?
It's savory, as a michelada needs to kind of be, get that salty, a little bit of heat. Tonya makes a great pairing for it because it's nice and light. It's very clear, has a lot of effervescence, and I think it's just a beautiful way to new way to spin on having it, versus it, having it on the bus from Managua to Esteli over 3 hours in a gigantic cooler, and people having it, two at a time. So let's try something new.
I love it, man.
But-
I love it. I will
But that's
definitely
what
be
that's
trying
what
it soon.
that's what makes our voyages to Nicaragua, which I miss greatly, and I think many of us miss being in Nicaragua with you and at the factory. So, Juan, I'm going to ask you. Listen, this has been an amazing year for Joya. Let's talk a little bit about the wonderful accolades that you've had over this last year. Beautiful recognition for the brand Joya Nicaragua.
Yes, it's an honor. It's a blessing to have gotten all of those recognitions from not only the cigar media from around the world, but primarily from smokers and cigar enthusiasts all over the world. And we're very thankful that in the midst of the most challenging year in recent history, our brand stood up. The hands that, with a lot of love, passion, and dedication, work in making our masterpieces, our cigars, stood out in the sea of so much uncertainty, and we were able to, achieve great products. Numero uno, that beautiful brand that you have in your back, and a surfboard that I love, by the way. I haven't seen that. It's a great swag. Xing Xing,
Hey,
sent you
email me.
yeah,
I
I
could,
know a guy.
just whatever, Venmo.
Yeah.
We can make it work.
So Numero Uno was awarded amongst the best cigar of the year by a lot of people, by Cigar Aficionado, by Cigar Snob, by Half Wheel, by Cigar Lovers Magazine. So it's quite humbling to see that another year our products are recognized, especially when we don't make the cigars to be winning awards. We don't make them for the badge of honors. Sorry about the visitor here. Um, Sorry about her. She's chasing around intruders. Um, so even when we are actually not thinking about the awards, when we get them, it's quite satisfying and quite humbling to get that recognition. And more than a recognition to us, it's a tribute to all of the people that, even in the midst of the pandemic, the most challenging year of our life, they went to the factory every single day without interruption, with their face mask and their discipline and their passion, and with a lot of concentration and care for themselves and for their family. They stood out and made these cigars for you guys to enjoy. So we're very thankful, because that's a tribute to them, the sacrifices and the passion that they have put into making the cigars, not only from our factory but also from all factories in Nicaragua, in Esteli, our hometown. We're very thankful for the amount of work that everybody in the industry has put on. And of course, not only Joya De Nicaragua, but all Nicaraguan cigars have been recognized as, again, the best cigars in the world.
Well, listen, that is an incredible honor. We are always honored to work with Hoya. I'm gonna take this little moment here to introduce lovely lady that is now working with your brand in the U.S. And I want to introduce Sarah Kearton. She is the field market manager. Did I get that one right?
Ooh, you did. I'm proud of you.
There.
You did,
Thank
you
you,
did.
thank you. Small, like small wins here.
Hmm.
Dealing with a little meat overload, and a little michelada. But so Sarah, welcome to Six and Sips. And Sarah, you are working with Hoya Nicaragua, and tell us a little bit about that.
I am, yeah. So the beginning of this year, I became the field market manager for Hoya, and it's been very exciting thus far. I've always enjoyed everything about Hoya. I mean, they've made some of the best quality cigars over the years, but also it's the people. I mean, I'll never forget when I first started with Drew Estate, and one of my first trips was 3 days into the job, and I flew down to Nicaragua to, of course, check out Drew Estate. But they also brought me by Hoya, and I got to meet the entire team. And even though I was international, they really took me under their wing really quickly, and always offered advice if I needed anything in the markets I was working in. And so they've always had a very soft spot in my heart, and I'm really excited to kind of help this brand grow.
And
Well,
now we're just
listen,
waiting for the travel bans to be lifted so that we can make Sarah an honorary Nicaraguan citizen very soon.
Yes, that would be amazing. I need to learn Spanish first, though.
Well, take
she
care of that.
knows.
Don't worry.
Yeah. She knows German, but not Spanish. I
Yes.
don't get it. So, but Sarah, we are so proud of you to be working with the Hoya brand. It's like our families joining together, and we're super excited about that. Juan, you got the best of the best working with you, and we definitely want to see Hoya, be part of people's repertoire. You've got, the first part of the question was, you got all this attention from, the media, the people that love cigars, recognizing the beauty of your products, the quality, the hard work by the factory. But there's something new coming. We just released the information yesterday. So, Jack, are we ready to let that go? So everyone that's watching on the Facebook has got a little something that they're seeing on their screen right now. This beautiful package that's called Doscientos. So Juan, would you honor us by talking about Doscientos with us?
Yeah, and I'm gonna plagiarize a little bit of Charlie Minato's take on Half Wheel, that he says that Joya de Nicaragua are very proud of our country. Yes, we are indeed, as I think most of the Nicaraguans in this call are. But we are also very proud of our region. So this year it's a very unique year for us because we celebrate the bicentennial of the Central America independence, and of course the Nicaraguan independence from Spain. That was the kingdom that colonized our region, and of course we went independent in 1821. So it's quite a big milestone for us because it's where we set the foots to become who we are, not only as Nicaraguans but as Central Americans. And as you know, Central America is the number one tobacco growing and cigar making region in the world, between Nicaragua and Honduras. We're very proud. Of course, that independence also took around a lot of Mesoamerican countries in the Caribbean, in South America, but primarily the independence of Central America is a milestone that we want to share with the world. It's a celebration, 200 years since 1821 that we went independent, and we wanted to take the opportunity to bring together tobaccos from different origins in Latin America precisely to celebrate that. So we're bringing together tobaccos from Ecuador, from the Dominican Republic, from Mexico, from Nicaragua, and from Honduras to make a blend that showcases that achievement of our region and our people. And of course, in our Obras Maestras families, we celebrate milestones, historical milestones. In this case, 200 years is a tremendous milestone, but we do it because it is that history that leads us the way towards the future. We only understand who we are today as a company, as individuals, but also as people when we understand where we come from in the past. So we like to study and absorb that history to be better individuals, to be better citizens, and hopefully to be better for this world. So celebrating 200 years of bicentennial for Central America is celebrating the future. And that's what this brand represents, Doscientos, coming to you in July.
Thank you for that. So for everybody that's asking, if your question was hashtag Ask Frankie Drinks, when is Doscientos happening? The answer is July. Ask another question. So because
I just want to explain something that very important, because I know a lot of people are why are you announcing something so early on? It's because it's a year-long celebration. We wanted to make sure that people are aware of this coming. We're going to start teasing a lot of things coming before the actual launch in the middle of the year. But most importantly, we want to celebrate this with people, even though we're going to be probably remote with a lot of people. Once the cigar hits the shelves, we're going to hold a very special celebration event on September 15th, which is like the actual day of independence. So on September 15th, 2021, we'll be celebrating with a Doscientos in our hands and everybody around the world that particular milestone. So it's going to be something huge that we hope a lot of people can join us, of course, from the United States and from all over the world. But we want to get people excited very early on.
Well, the only question I've got first to Jack is September 15th on a Wednesday, Jack. Because if it is, we will host the global. We would love to join you to celebrate Joya on their global celebration of 200 years of Nicaragua.
It is actually on a Wednesday.
Lucky you, and lucky Nicaragua.
There you go.
So Juan, I'm gonna ask our guys. So I'm gonna jump to Henry right now. Henry, listen, when you hear about Doscientos and Joya Nicaragua, how does that make you feel, man?
it makes me feel the way I feel right now. If it makes me feel really good, because I really enjoy the quality and the flavor that I get from Hoya sticks. Hoya, it's a company that it's been around for a long time. They make really good sticks that nobody can tell them how to make the sticks. They they make great sticks. So I'm enjoying my Hoya Cabineta. I know that some of you guys are smoking the Antaño. Antaño is too strong for me, and I'm drinking the Lado Oscuro. I know we're gonna be talking about Moropotente beer, and this is a really good stout that I really enjoy from Moropotente, which goes really well with the Hoya Cabineta. So having a great time, man.
Well, I think that is a great pairing. I love gabinetas, that doble capa for people that haven't had the experience of having it. It's just a great way of going down that as Joey likes to say, that rabbit hole of Hoya, because you're gonna find such amazing things. My man Pedro, 200 years of Nicaraguan independence. Yeah, he was zoning out, man. He's
Yo, 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 we're here, man. We're
no,
here.
man.
Listen to Henry, man. It's amazing.
Now, Pedro,
200 years, man.
I'm gonna ask you one question, man. When you were running Cigar Safari back in the day, back in the day, one of our favorite parts was visiting the Hoya factory, man. Tell us about what that experience was like.
Well, Joya de Nicaragua, man. Joya de Nicaragua is Nicaragua. Nicaragua is Joya de Nicaragua. For us, starting the relationship back in 2007, it has been a honor since day one. And we are super happy and excited to see how Joya de Nicaragua has evolved during all these years. And one thing that not too many people knows about it, all the hardship that this company has been going through along the history of Nicaragua. And of course, Juan is gonna tell you, a little bit about the story of Joya de Nicaragua, but it's very important to tell everybody that the cigar that you smoke has been going through tears, pain, and blood of the people right down there in my hometown, which is Estelí, Nicaragua. So to see, the Joya de Nicaragua, they coming with a brand that is 200 years, it is amazing. It really encapsulates what Nicaragua has been going through in these 200 years. Just matter of fact, check this out. I'm gonna jump into your question. Just the United States was he has as a country has been around for 243 years, and Nicaragua 200 years. So we are not that behind. But when it comes to development and everything, of course, the United States. But one thing why Nicaragua is very well known, besides Tonya, is Joya de Nicaragua, is Nicaraguan Cigars. And when I was taking people to Joya de Nicaragua, I remember it was back in 2008. I think that right around that year, Juan was coming into the company. And I used to deal a lot with Mario, Lionel, and we used to have El Doctor Alejandro Martinez Cuenca, who was in every single tour. And to see, a small little factory, which obviously it was like a factory but rich in tradition and history. And the most beautiful thing was being part and see and being the witness of how your favorite cigars were made, like Antaño 1970, amazing stogie, full body, everything that you can dream of a Nicaraguan cigar, that cigar has it all right there, super complex. And people love being in Joya de Nicaragua because Joya de Nicaragua from Drew Estate is very different because Joya de Nicaragua is very traditional, while Drew Estate is more like urban urban style company that has so deep roots. What it's like to be also a boutique. And one of the things that you will see in our brands, from Liga Privada to Underground to Acid to all the different cigar brands that we have made in the past, is that we have never lost the essence of what it's like to be small and what it's like to be a partnership with Joya de Nicaragua. For a lot of people that were to Joya, that they had the opportunity to tour Joya de Nicaragua and to see how their cigars were made, but most importantly, hearing the beautiful, rich history of Dr. Alejandro Martinez Cuenca, from Mario Perez, from Juan Martinez, it is a mind blowing. Next time that you are in your favorite cigar lounge, next time that you are in your house and you are thinking about Nicaragua, you should light up a Joya de Nicaragua. It's amazing to see, and for me, it is an honor to be part of this show because we got, my one of my favorite beer right here, Tonya. We got Jose Marcel with us. We also we also have Henry. We also have Joey. We got Sarah. We got Juan. We got you, brother. But most importantly, we got the people that are tuning with us tonight. So I would like to thank them for sharing their Wednesday night with Drew Stay. Because this show is not about, coming here, get a little tipsy, well, social drinks here and there. But most important is about learning one thing or two about Joya Nicaragua and everything that we are doing at Drew State. And how was the experience? The people in Joya Nicaragua, they loved it. And to see how the factory evolved from a regular cigar factory to be a very beautiful cigar factory, Frank, it is mind blowing to see how much resource they have invest into the factory. And of course, the cigar speaks by itself, man, because you can have a beautiful factory, but if the factory makes not good cigar, nobody's gonna. I'm not gonna curse. I'm gonna keep it nice and family oriented.
Oh,
Oh my God, I almost went off, but I'm gonna tell you this: the cigar speaks by itself. We are here talking about Joya Nicaragua, which Joya Nicaragua is a privately owned company. We are here talking about Drew Estate. Somehow, sometime in the future, we are gonna pass. But the brands, if they're still good, if they still have the quality and the consistency, they are going to speak and speak loud. So congratulations to Joya de Nicaragua, 200 years with that brand that you guys are coming up, and so I'm so excited, man. This is gonna be a very nice stick and sips. So everybody up there, you gotta tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
every Wednesday to September 15th and beyond.
Forever.
Mhm.
September 15th, circle your calendar, Joey. September 15th, you know what's going to happen, right?
I'll be right here. I'll be right here waiting.
Gracias,
in the words-
Pedro. Gracias for those words, bro.
No
In,
problem,
in the
bro. My
words of
pleasure.
JD, sticks and sips forever.
I gotta say one thing. I think for especially anybody in the chat, anybody that's watching live that has been to Nicaragua, I think the first place when the bans are lifted and we can actually move freely again, the first place I want to go is Esteli, and that's period. First place, book it.
Absolutely. I'll make it the second place. I'm gonna make a quick stop in Oaxaca first, and then I'll go to Esteli.
On the way down.
Yeah, and probably on the way up too. But that's a different story. We'll save that for Mezcal Minute. Juan, I'm gonna ask you this, and I'll leave it to you or Sarah to talk about the beauty of an Antonio CT, because I really think that this stick made such an impact for Hoya. I love it. I think it truly is an amazing cigar. Juan, Sarah, any one of you can talk about the beauty of but to help you guys, I've got a beautiful graphic about the Antonio CT, because this was a cigar I chose for the Michelada just because you can have a lot of fun with it. So this is an Ecuadorian Habano, an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade, right? Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. So
Yes.
talk about the Antonio CT.
I want to let Sarah talk about the city, but I just want to talk about Antaño, which in Spanish means yesteryear, and it's a brand that's very close to our heart because it was the game changer. It's the brand that brought Nicaraguan tobacco to the light to the world. So we're very proud of the whole Antaño family, and of course now of the youngest sibling of the Antonio family, Antonio Sete. Sarah, all yours.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about just how important Antonio was to really highlight Nicaraguan tobacco, and CT really highlighted Antonio. It made that line a much more just robust uh, portfolio. And I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the first cigars that I grab every single time I open up my humidor. It's a really, I find it to be a little bit more on the mild side, but people have argued with me, said it's more medium bodied. But it really is just a truly amazing cigar. You get a lot of flavor from the Nicaraguan binder and fillers, but that wrapper really makes it a very smooth, creamy cigar that you can smoke really any time of the day.
Well, listen, as I've seen people smoke it at all different types of the day, right? Juan, I'm gonna share a story with you. All right, so bear with me, guys.
All right.
This is, at the end of the day, this is like a Frankie Drank show, right? I just let you live in my world. Uh, so
Yes. This is your thing, man.
I'm in Chicago, and there's a very famous like whiskey bar called Delilah's, right? And they're having a metal night, right? And there's so we go to metal night, not knowing that it's metal night. It just happens to be metal night. And there's like a biker gang that's hanging out front. It just happens to be a group of guys smoking. They're smoking cigars on the front thing, and in front of the bar because you can't smoke inside. So they're all outside of Chicago. So I kind of like walk through there trying to keep my cool, not trying to get killed, and I'm kind of like glancing over to see what people are smoking, and I glance at one dude, and what's he got? An Antonio. And I turn to the guy like, how long you been smoking that, man? He's like, I love Antonios. It's my smoke, bro. And I'm going like, dude, that's awesome. And I'm going like, I knew there was a real cigar guy, you know? He's sucking down Antonios in front of Delilah's, the world's most renowned whiskey bar in Chicago, on metal night. And he's outside having an Antonio. And it was cold as shit. So, so we go like, this dude's real deal, man. And that's the love for Hoya that I want everyone to
Thank you,
share
brother.
as well.
Thank you for sharing that, Frankie. Touches, man. We touches. Thank you very much.
And secondly was hanging out with your dad at Cigar Safari, talking about how we're gonna take over the world. Uh, that was the other part, that I really love. And Juan, I'm gonna give you like this is not the end. We're gonna come back to you in a second, but listen, any last words you want to talk about like Hoya while we're talking about this incredible accolades and celebrations and the beautiful cigars that are Antonio's. Anything else you want to say? Even though Pedro
No,
did a good job of a shout out to
yeah,
everybody at the factory, but
I can't reach to, Pedro's level. Thank you, Pedro, for that. But I just want to express our gratitude to everybody that smokes a Joya Nicaragua every night or during the week. It's an honor. We do this for you guys, the Stick and Sips crowd that's there watching us. A big shout out to everybody that continues to trust and put faith on our products. And we hope that we continue to make your evenings and your happy hours and your days a little bit better, one smoke at a time. So gracias, Frankie.
gracias, hermano. Thank you so much to Hoya Nicaragua. Thank you, Sarah, and everybody, Pedro and Henry, for sharing the beautiful story of Hoya. Listen, we could talk all night about Hoya, but listen, I've got a very, very important guest waiting in the wings here. Listen, I am super honored to introduce to everybody the Sticks and Sips crew that's out there in Facebook Landia, as like my man JD likes to say. Um, I want to introduce Mr. Jose. Marcel Sanchez Rodriguez. Because if there's anything that that we have wealth in Central and South America, we have wealth in names, baby. We got names to spare.
Names on
We got
I,
names for days,
Names
buddy.
on names on names, baby.
I
You
just
know,
wanna, I
and
just want to, before you introduce Jose Marcel, I just want to let people know, even though he's too humble to recognize him, that he's one of the greatest personalities in the craft world in Nicaragua, if not the best. Jose is a legend, so it's an honor to be with him tonight.
well, thank you so much for adding to that. And I wanted to say that Jose Marcel is the founder, if I dare say, of a of the premier craft brewing uh, company called Moropotente, coming out of Managua, but he is an Esteli guy. So he's got our heart and soul with him. And with that, I want to welcome Mr. Jose Marcel. Thank you so much for joining Sticks and Sips, man. Sorry to keep you waiting for so long. I know you only, all you had to do was just drink beer while you were waiting. But that's kind of par for the course for you, right?
Thank you, Frank. Um, I really appreciate it a lot to hear the story about Antonio CT. And thank you, Juan, for that um, introduction. You were very, very kind with me every time. But, well, I was drinking my beers while I was hearing some good stories. And I think that's the magic of beer. I mean, if you can drink your beers while you're hearing good stories, that's right. So I really enjoy it a lot. I have 2 cases of cold beer right now waiting. So I have plenty of time to hear
Well, I
stories
love
about
to hear
Hoya and
that.
Nicaragua.
So for everybody out there, listen, Jose Marcel is the founder of Moto Potente Brewing. And so, Jose, I'm going to ask you the first question is Nicaragua, how did you get into craft beer brewing?
Well, first, I think it was 10 years ago. I went to Seattle, West Coast, USA. And I went there to do my PhD at the University of Washington. I'm a microbiologist. And um, when I first arrived to my fellowship, I just show up there, and I saw a lot of African guys and Indian guys and Korean guys. People really clever, really smart. And when I arrived, I just realized that there was only 2 places for the PhD fellowship, and we were two to compete with all these people from Korea and India and Africa, and they are really good. They were really good, and so I got depressed. I was sure that I mean, I will not make it. So I really got depressed, and I have a Peruvian friend, and he told me, you know what, man, you and I are not gonna make it. So my recommendation to you is that there is a tap house 2 blocks from the Institute of Children's, and we should go there and try a beer every day. So they have 200 different beers. So the best thing you can get back to your mom is that you try all those beers before we quit this. That's how I get into the craft beer world, because I thought that I won't be able to, compete with these people. So I decided to enjoy some time trying some different beers.
Well, for everyone out there that's ever wanted to start a brewery and wanted to, start it with tasting over 200 beers, there's still a chance for you.
Well, actually, what actually happened is that um, they did like the first test to classify all the people who is going to go to the next level, and we did the test. It was really funny because I mean, I was lucky. The first test they asked us was to develop a rapid test for neglected disease, for a low income country disease. And I just had developed a test for a disease in Nicaragua 1 year before. So I already had the homework done. So it was really easy. So I go to the Peruvian guy and I say him, you know what, I have the homework done. Let's go and have more beer. And after that, there were only 30 people passed to the next level. And I got really scared. And I told the Peruvian, man, I think we should focus and we should start really studying because it was lucky. And and the Peruvian guy gave me an advice, and it was a really good advice. He told me, you know what, when you're doing something and you get the results you're looking for, just keep going. So we decided to keep going every evening to have a couple of beers at the tap house and to see what happened with fellowship.
So listen, you're in Washington, you're studying microbiology, right? And so at the end of everything, you're going through these trials and tribulations. And so flash forward, you're gonna start a brewery in Nicaragua.
Yeah. One day I remember, I remember the exact moment. One day I ordered a beer from Canada, from Quebec Brewery Company. It's called Le Fin du Monde. And I remember I asked for that beer. It's a Trappist ale, and Trappist beer are usually very strong flavor, high alcohol, um, really complex beers. So I ordered a Trappist ale from Quebec Brewery. And it's the end of the war. So I remember the very first time I tried that beer, and I'm writing a book now, and the first chapter of the book is called "The Friend of Mine" because I think that everyone has an end of the war once in a time. And there's a time when you try a beer, and this beer is so weird, so different, so complex, and it's like tobacco time also. You try. There's one cigar you try once in your life that completely blow your mind. And that is when you decide to start smoking cigars, and that is when you decide to start drinking craft beers. So these beautiful beers and these beautiful cigars are like the end of your world, and then you start a new world trying to discover new products, new beers, new cigars, new experience. But that very first time,
Well, Jose, we are having a little bit of problem with your audio, so if you can check your settings, uh, but I'm gonna go while you're
While
checking
Marcel,
it.
while Marcel is checking his audio, I want to share a little bit of his story that we experienced here at Cigar Safari a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Actually, we invited Marcel to do a presentation about his beers, and we were amazed, by the quality and the taste of his beers, and I got here a couple of the ones that he produces. I got Lado Oscuro, Wonky Yang, 19 Days, Lola. They became one of actually my favorite beers. And Marcel brought to Nicaragua a new selection. For many years, Nicaraguans only drink Tonya. And for many years during Cigar Safari, that was the only beer that we offer on Cigar Safari. But then we started introducing other beers, stout beers, lager, IPA, some of the good stuff that Marcel was producing, and we got a really good reception from people coming down to Cigar Safari, and being able to pair the cigars with some of the beers that he produces. For example, this one, the Chelada Oscuro. This is my favorite one because this is actually made out of coffee and chocolate. So I didn't know that, before that you could make beer using chocolate and coffee, and this is one of the ones that I compare with Tabaco Especial or Joya Cabineta, but it was really awesome, to experience new type of beers. And when I think about Marcel is kind of like our master blender. Besides being the owner and founder of Moropotente beer, he himself and blend and creates a blend, creates the beer, so which is really amazing. So
Jose, how's your sound right now? But I think you may be muted, but we'll check. Is
I
it,
also
this
want to
is what
add, while Jose, also want to add a story because with Jose, I started. That was the first time I actually paired a cigar with a craft beer. Before that, I was into the myth of
Mhm.
cigars and beers don't necessarily pair up really well. But it was with Jose that we actually started tasting different of his beers that I started enjoying the flavors and the stimulation that craft beer brings to your palate. Actually, I agree with Henry. Lado Oscuro, and I pair it with Hoya Black, by the way, goes beautifully. And one of the other things that I want maybe Jose can talk about is about the names that maybe for you guys they don't mean a lot, but the names of each one of his beers has a special meaning, and they are very very interesting. So I don't know, Jose, if you're back,
Jose,
talk about it.
give us a
I'm trying to fix this. Can you hear me now?
yes, fantastic.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you.
Very good.
Um, yeah, I just hear all what, and thank you, Juan, thank you, Henry, for the backup. I'm not the technology guy. I'm a brewer, so what I know to do is to brew beer. Um, but well, I don't know. Maybe I can explain about the Fendemon again, or I don't know. What do you think, Frank?
Well, Jose, if you would indulge us on like what really was the impetus to start Moropotente?
Yeah. So I was doing this fellowship at the Seattle Children's, and I was really worried, as I told you, about getting the fellowship. Actually, I was a regular guy, another guy there competing with some really smart and clever guys, Discovery Channel guys, and and formerly I think beer helped me. And but the beer that really inspired me was this beer from Canada, from Quebec Brewing Company called the Fendemont. It's a Trappist ale. Trappist ale are very complex beers. They're very flavorful beers, full body beers. And I tried this beer and it just blew my mind. And that's what I call the end of the world. I believe that in your life, there are persons, there are beers, there are cigars, there are some things, really special things that when they got to your life, when they arrive to your life, they just completely blow up your mind. And then the next steps are that you keep just looking for that very first experience. So there must be a cigar that gets you into the cigar world, into the tobacco world, because it just blows your mind and you want to find that experience again, and you keep going and keep looking for that experience. So that was that beer for me. And when I tried that beer, I remember I had a sip of the beer and I said, uh, I have to do this. I have to brew my own. I cannot keep drinking the same thing every day. I need to do this. I need to brew my own beer and have my own beer in Nicaragua. And that was the beginning of Moropotente 10 years ago. And if I knew what will happen after, I would probably won't do it. But it was so hard. It was really so hard. But now here we are, 10 years ago, with the first brewery in Nicaragua, in craft brewery.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there and raise a glass to you for being a pioneer
Thank you.
in bringing the beautiful craft of brewing, right, to go up against a giant like Tonya. But really, what we're offering is not competition. we're offering people choices, right?
Absolutely.
And with and with that, I'm gonna say cheers to you, Jose, for the beautiful story of your willingness out of you know, like your story is beautiful, man. You know, I read a little bit about you, so I know the trials, the tribulations, the difficulties of bringing a business to life, right? You could have stayed in Seattle and been one of the 9,000 craft breweries that if you throw a rock in Seattle, you'll hit a craft brewery, right? Joey,
Portland, and you'll hit
in
Portland.
any direction,
Yeah.
one rock hits three craft breweries, but your willingness to do it in Nicaragua, I think, says a lot about you, says a lot about the Nicaraguan people, says a lot about the willingness. And listen, I want to wish you much success, and welcome you to our cigar safaris
Yeah.
at
That
some
was
point.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I remember Henry. You said, "Oh, we have a craft beer guy coming from Nicaragua."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" Like it didn't. I couldn't even make it make sense in my mind. Like
He
craft,
didn't have a ponytail. He didn't.
and then
He's like,
he set up on the back area of Safari by the pool, and we were sampling all the beers, and was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! This is incredible. Now we can get something really good while we're here in Esteli. It's like impossible. How is it? It was amazing. And then now it's several years on from that. So it's great to see that the success is growing slowly. And then tell us the name. The names are great. I know Henry brought up some of the names earlier. The names of the beers are so
Look at
Yeah,
it.
all right. So Lado Oscuro, Dark Side. All right. So for all
yeah,
these Star Wars fans, uh,
yeah. One of the name, Moropotente actually comes from Italy. Um, there's a big
yeah,
mountain in Esteli called Moropotente. But the name of the mountain actually came from one of my relatives. He was my grandfather, and he came from Spain. And people thought he was Moorish, and he has this Arabic look and feel. So people thought he was a Moorish, and start calling him El Moro, which in Spanish is the Moorish, El Moro. And then some of his friends just put a nickname on him because he has like 30 kids. So they start calling him El Moro Potente, which means like the powerful Moro. And that's where all my family come from. So that's why the mountain has that name because it was his farm. And that's where my family come from. And here I am, small Moro Potente.
so for those of you guys that are Spanish impaired, you know, so Morro Potente is a mountain in Esteli, but you know the figurative, literal joke side of it is the powerful Moor, right? Which actually translates to the fertile Moor in
The
Jose
potente, the
Marcel's,
potent.
you know, yes, as Juan's gonna have another kid during this broadcast. So no, come on, we could do this.
No, no,
No,
no, no.
one,
That's
one,
not.
one part of the
My
story
wife
very
actually is my wife is listening. She's making fun of that.
Like we
you
could do
know,
this. We got
one
side
part of the
bets. We got
story,
side bets going, Juan. We got side bets 9 months from now. Another. We could do this,
one of
dude. We
the
can
stories
celebrate 201.
that one of the stories that I really enjoy from when I invited Marcel to come to Cigar Safari and shared a little bit about his company and his story, was when he came back to Nicaragua. And he came back with a degree of biology, right? And he's trying to find a job. And you go to workplaces and show your big resume, getting a degree from the U.S. and people look at your resume and immediately think, oh no, man, like this is way above my level, you know. And if I hire this guy, he'll probably take my job, you know. He'll probably want to get a really high salary, you know, and struggling, you know, and not finding a job, and then going back to home and say, what I do, you know, what do I do, you know. So, you know, finding myself cooking some beer in the kitchen, you know, and believing in his dream, it was really powerful and really motivating, you know. So cheers for Marcel, you know, that you're creating good stuff.
Try
Cheers,
cheer for Marcel.
yeah,
No,
cheers for not
just
getting
Absolutely,
a
man.
job and cooking beer in your kitchen. You know, that's half the three-quarters of America is dreaming about that right now.
It's a love
So
story right there.
That's a beautiful story, Jose. Very nice, man. Well done.
thank you.
Anybody will say, you know, oh my God, this is a good beer, but nobody knows, you know, as Fran said, the ups and downs that you went, and to see sharing, you know, the victories and losses with us tonight is amazing, brother. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm very proud of you, my hermano. God bless you, man.
there we
Absolutely.
go.
Gracias, Pedro, gracias, Pedro, gracias. Realmente lo que Henry dijo what Henry said was really fun because when I came back from Seattle, I I was still working for the Ministry of Health, and I got fired. Um, so I started looking for a job, and I had a PhD on my under my arm. And what was really funny is that I went to many companies, and what they say was you are overprepared for the position.
Yeah, overqualified.
But and then you are like, what the fuck, man? Did I spend too much? What are you saying? And you're saying that I'm a nerd. I study too much, and nobody hired me. Actually, I asked for a job at the National Brewery Company at Tonya, and I applied for a position at Tonya, and they didn't hire me. And 3 years ago, Moropotente was pure enough to start dealing with them a commercial agreement. And I remember that by the end of the agreement, when I talked with the CEO and I told him, you know what, you will save your money if you're hiring people who look at my resume 3 years before. That was really fun.
Hey, revenge is served best cold. So listen, I'm going to honor you and your hard work as a pioneer in craft beer for Nicaragua. And I'm hoping that we can visit Nicaragua very, very soon and enjoy Moropotente, um, you know, along with Tonya. Because remember, it's the enjoyment of all of what is Nicaragua and the Nicaraguan experience. And
Yo, I gotta say one of the comments that I got from one of the guys on the Facebook Live. He's saying Steve Johnson. He's saying Marcel, your beers are delicious. I gotta try them on Cigar Safari in 2018. Good job.
there you go. People remember, and that's such a key thing. So, thank you to Steve, and thank you to you, Jose, for being part of Six and Sips, man. You welcome to the family, man. We are here for you. We're here to support. Uh, but now I'm gonna get to that part of the show. This is the moment that Jose, Juan, Pedro, Henry, Sarah. This is the moment that people all over the globe, including the flat earthers who have chapters all over the globe, right? They wait for this moment every week. And I'm gonna hand it over to my man, Joey Drew. I just need to get off the set
Oh,
for
yeah,
one
Joey.
second. So Joey, hold the hold the fort down a second. It's Mezcal Minute with
It's
Joey Drew. Give it up.
Let's do this. So Mezcal Minute is brought to you by my good friends at Bozal. Bozal makes some amazing stuff. Just incredible, super complex. If you're a tequila fan, it'll wipe your memory clear and you'll enjoy something completely new and delicious, and it pairs well with cigars. like nobody's business. It's just my favorite thing. Everybody knows that they see me week in and week out drinking this stuff, and they're like, I know some of you have gone out and bought a bottle and went, oh my God, like what is he drinking? But it's really delicious. And I know last time I was in Nica with Juan and his dad, we talked about trying to plant some agaves out. We were like, this would be a great environment.
True story. True story. We were looking at some hills over there.
Yeah, we could create a whole new industry. We got craft brewing going on. We've got cigars happening. Let's start a mezcal operation in Nicaragua. It's not so outlandish after all. So, but cheers to everybody. Cheers to Jose, Marcel. It's amazing. It's great to bring something back to your home. I think everybody loves that, to bring something back to your home that you're passionate about to then share with your people, your brothers, your sisters. And that's what we do, at Drew Estate and in Joya De Nicaragua. It's like, that's your hometown. Esteli is our hometown. Nicaragua is our, for me, it's my second home. I feel like I miss it dearly, and can't wait to go back. That's the thing. Just cannot wait to go back. I know everybody that's been on a safari is like just chomping at the bit. We gotta get back to safari. Like,
you see, now you're missing. You didn't come more often, my friend.
Yes, that is true. That is definitely true. You know that. So, but cheers to like getting back to Nicaragua and celebrating with our friends there, and just kicking back and having a great time on safari and enjoying cigars and good craft beer. And I'll bring the mezcal. That's for sure.
You gotta bring a mezcal.
The last time you brought the mezcal, David drank it all.
No.
Shout out to David Torres for drinking all our mezcal. We're only allotted a
To
certain
be
amount that we
correct,
can bring in.
to be correct, I drank the last bottle of mezcal that Joey brought to Nica.
Of course you did.
In the words of like when Henry was here and he was checking out like all the new mezcals coming in, he was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then every now and then there'll be like a funky bottle and he'd smell it and he said, I think something died in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's what you want. I'm like, you want that?
Yes, you do.
Yes, that's what you want. But Henry, we miss you, brother. We miss you a lot. So salute. So look, as much as I need to keep the party going, I've actually got to take questions as part of like my job. And so we get to the Ask Frankie Drinks portion of the show. And we got some great questions. And of course, if your question gets picked, we're going to send you a little 66 swag pack just for you guys. So with that, our first question of the evening, Alexander Adame. Ask Frankie Drinks, where did Micheladas originate from? In Chicago, we also have something called Chavela, which is just beer and Clamato juice. Is this used elsewhere? Yes, they're all sorts of different. They're kind of originated in Mexico. A little bit of either a combination of tomato juice. If you add other spices to it, it's called the Chelada Michelada. They add a bunch of garnish to it as well. It's kind of part of like the, like an extension of the Bloody Mary family. And these things are great. Some recipes call for ice with it. Some don't. It's really part of having a very refreshing cocktail that's actually a low ABV because you're starting with a low ABV product in beer. But you're also having like a lot of effervescence, which is really, kind of refreshing on a warm day. So Chelada Michelada, they're all like riffs on this same thing. Clamato is tomato juice with a little bit of clam juice in it. You can have, and there's a million variations of different ingredients that you could use. So that was a great question.
I got a question for you. When
yes,
is the
sir.
best time to drink a Michelada?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning after a long day of drinking, huh? Or a long night of drinking.
Like at
You go
7 a.m.
24/7.
7 a.m. And like from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is probably Michelada time on Sunday. So So you can enjoy there. So our next question is Brian Schultz. Congratulations. I love a good smoke producing cigar. What in the blend helps you guys produce so much smoke out of your sticks? And I'll leave that up to Pedro, uh,
My man, yes.
Joey.
So
So
now,
like,
Frank, can you repeat the question,
what
please?
makes us this Brian says, I love a good smoke producing cigar. So he likes a cigar that produces a lot of smoke. What
Hmm.
in the blend helps you guys produce so much smoke out of your cigars? And we have some cigars that really blast out a lot of smoke.
Absolutely, man. First of all, man, congratulations. That beautiful hat and that whiskey glass is on your way right now. That's a good question, man. And one thing that you will see on Drew Estate cigars, very different from other cigars in the industry, is that some of our cigars are very extremely smoky, like the Nica Rustica. And that has to do with the fermentation process. Down there in Nicaragua, we ferment all the tobacco that we use as a binder and as a grapper. And during the fermentation, that's when that thing happens. But one thing for sure, brother, is this: when you cut and light a cigar, the first thing that you want to expect is to keep the cigar lit. Because if the cigar goes off many, many, many times, the pleasure of smoking that cigar really goes out of the window. When the cigar is still lit and it's burning like a chimney, a lot of people love it. Other people probably don't. They don't enjoy it that much. But that's why at Drew Estate we got so many variety in our portfolio that we can find the one that you truly enjoy. So for a smoky taste and the aroma, because what would be the point for a cigar to be super smoky and the aroma not friendly? It doesn't go that well. And Nica Rustica and some undergrounds, you will see how smoky those cigar gets, but that it has to do with the fermentation process. Now, for the people that doesn't know what the fermentation process is all about, once the tobacco has been cured in the air cure barns, those tobacco goes to the factories. Joya de Nicaragua, they have their fermentation rooms. Over there at Drew State Factory, we do have our own fermentation rooms as well. And basically, the cycle starts by putting the tobacco leaf in piles. So basically, Frank, you are going to build around 5,000 to 6,000 pounds of pure tobacco of one variety. Gotta be the sand tobacco. And the first step will be bringing the heat, the temperature up, because what you got right there is humidity, temperature, and pressure. By doing the fermentation right, so basically what happens is after 8 days, you have to break it down and build the pilon again. By break it down and build the pilon again for the same tobacco and the same time selecting what is seco, biso, and ligero, you are going to have a very nice even tobacco. And when you have a very nice even tobacco, that's gonna bring the flavor. It's gonna bring the color of the tobacco. If this is a maduro tobacco, you're gonna have a very nice dark tobacco. But at the same time, besides the aroma, the combustion, those are the elements that the fermentation process is gonna add to the tobacco. And bottom line is this: you can invest a lot of money buying the best tobacco coming from different countries, but if you are clueless how to fermentate that tobacco, you are gonna burn a lot of cash. Not tobacco and cigars. You're gonna throw cash in the garbage because if the tobacco is over fermented, the tobacco is gonna lose his pliability. The oil that is in the tobacco leaf, it is for a grapper. If the tobacco is over fermented, it's not gonna have no taste, no strength, no flavor, no spiciness. All this stuff, the good stuff that guys that love medium to full or full body cigars, smokers, that's what they love right there. But this is even worse. If the tobacco is not properly fermented, that means the tobacco is still green, still young. That means for you to rush the production, you say, hey, Jose, don't worry about that tobacco. Just bring those bills because we need to pump up this production because there is a lot of back orders in the market. Well, when it comes to back orders, it's a painful word for Drew Estate because right here, we are in the business to sell cigars. Nobody want to deal with back order stuff. But the tobacco is ready when the tobacco is ready. I learned that one from people in Nicaragua, people that work in the factory, and everything that I have been sharing to you guys is because of the experience that I had spending 7 years of the time that I have been with Drew State and Drew State Factory, and that one was my Harvard University for me. So that's a good question right there, buddy.
Fantastic, Pedro. Listen, thank you so much. Listen, um, that was a great education on what it takes to make it a cigar. The care that goes into just one of the many processes in the construction of that cigar. Um, but just to add a little whatever, if you've ever had an Nefasto, that's the smokiest cigar ever. Joey,
Nope.
what's the smokiest one, man? That's a smoke bomb. Did you like that?
No, it's
The entire room goes up, man.
an Antonio Dark Corojo that will annihilate that you will lose your whole. If I was smoking one right now, you wouldn't be able to see me from all the smoke on that sucker. That's a
Love
smoke.
it.
I love that sucker, man. I think that's a powerhouse too, man.
I love it. I love it. Next question. I've got Tracy Tackett. Congratulations, Tracy. Is there a cheat sheet somewhere that lists some of your favorite cigar and drinks pairings? Stay tuned, Tracy. It's coming. But the second part was also what characteristics of the cigar and your drink helps you decide your pairing. So, Joey, what do you like to focus on, man? Is it the cigar? Is it the drink, man?
No,
What goes first for you?
It's a combination, and it's not always so much that all the flavors jive. It's I like to relax. I like to chill out with a cigar and a drink, and get lost in that in the time. I like the time better, even than analyzing it to death. But I like a good contrast from time to time. So if a drink is kind of mellow and easy, I like to bring a nice little bang and stick to it. That's why I had the machito earlier. You know, and it just,
Nice.
hey, whatever floats your boat, man. And experiment, try different things. You'll find out what definitely works for you or not.
I love it. I love it. Juan, do you have a favorite pairing, brother?
Yes, I do actually. Yes, I do, and it's not a coincidence that, and I'm not saying it because he's in the show too, but my favorite pairing of all time is a Hoya Black with a Moropotente Stout, and that's something that we tried together with Jose Marcel once in an event that we're doing together, and he actually showed me. We tested different of his brews, and that one was a fantastic, phenomenal, and there are no enough adjectives to describe that pairing of a Hoya Black, creamy, chocolatey, white peppery in the cigar, together with the coffee notes and the chocolate notes of the Moro Potente Lado Oscuro, which is one of the beers that Henry showed off. Lado Oscuro, the one that Henry is drinking right now. That was my ideal pairing experience, and from them on, I started, playing around, and as Joe was saying, experimenting with different flavor. There is no right or wrong in this world. In the cigar world, in the beer world, or in the pairing world, there is no right or wrong besides what everybody else says. There's some myths, there's some, idiosyncrasies that people have, that this can only go with this. No, on the contrary, the more that you open up, the more that you contrast, the more that you complement, the better the experience is. And the only way you can actually find what a goes well with another thing, in this case, a cigar pairs well with another drink, is by trying. That's the only way you discover it. That's now, Joey pairing mezcals with cigars. That's something. Unfortunately, here in Nicaragua, we don't have access to those beautiful products that you guys have there. But we do have great craft beer. So, and I want to thank personally, I want to thank Jose Marcel, because he opened up our minds and our brains to trying up and complementing craft beers with Joya Nicaragua. And by the
Juan,
way, you haven't mentioned, but Jose Marcel is actually a great cigar smoker too. So he makes a lot of his beers inspired on cigars, and he hasn't mentioned that. And I have
Yeah,
to
Henry,
bring
we
it
need
out
to hook
because
Jose Marcel with some Drew Estate as well, buddy.
Yeah, he smokes a lot of underground.
Oh, there you go, my man. That's the one right there.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
only reason why he's smoking is because he's not feeling well today. But yeah, he normally. I actually got him some cigars, so he should be well stocked up for the next couple of days.
I just had a crisis of asthma this week. I was really sick, and that's the reason why I'm not smoking. And I really hate you guys because I'm dying for a cigar right now. And that's hard. I mean, you just smoke every day, and you can smoke now. I mean, I will smoke. I honestly will. I'm feeling better, but I know my wife will hate that.
yeah.
So
Tell your wife not to
try
tune
to
into
give me a
Facebook. We won't say anything.
taste. Yeah, but she will smell it.
Well,
you know,
listen. I'm gonna get this next question, and Juan, I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you.
Oh,
Uh, I don't believe you should ever pair ketchup with cigars. And then I'll move on. So Steve
That's a good
Mullally,
point, man.
so Steve Mullally, what are you looking for flavor wise in a drink to pair with cigars? And I'm gonna ask the one person in this room, besides the guy that has the PhD that started his own brewing company. But the reality is that genetics has not chosen you, my friend, to have the best palate in the room. It has chosen the young lady named Sarah Hearton, uh, who by genetics and the great gift of that has her amazing palette to share with us. Sarah, what do you like? And this is Steve's question. You know, what are the characteristics you're looking for when you pair a cigar or a drink?
Well, so I'm kind of all over the place. I was very big on contrast pairing for the longest time. So if I was going to smoke a heavier cigar, I wanted to drink something a little bit sweeter, a little bit smoother. If I had something light, I'm doing a heavy scotch or something. But I will say I've been very happily surprised by some of the pairings that have been recommended to me when it comes to just cocktails that I would never think I would have with a cigar. Like I know, Frank, you've seen me sip on my Aperol spritzes, and I love them with
And
a
so does David Torres, by the way. David Torres loves Aperol spritzes too.
oh, they're so refreshing. I just love them, but they're perfect. And I would think, okay, you get that sweetness from the Aperol and the Prosecco. Maybe you would want something a little heavier, but I actually prefer it with a lighter cigar. I like the Underground Shades. I like the Numero Unos. I like the CTs with something like that. And so I don't know if I really have anything in particular that I look for anymore. I still think that I default on the contrast pairings, but I've opened my eyes to other things. So
Well, for everyone that's out there and everyone that's new, I've often advocated for there's two concepts, right? There's the concept of a contrast, and I call that the peanut butter jelly contrast, right? Where you're looking at two different flavors on the flavor spectrum, sweet to savory, and then you're finding a great complement in between. And then there's the concept of reinforcement, where you're picking things of the same intensity, and somewhere between those things, you're gonna find that perfect match. And like Juan said, it's try it's try different things, and you'll find what your palate likes. And Joey said many times, time of day affects that. Um, what you've had to eat affects that as well.
your
Prior
mood.
to,
Yeah,
like,
your
if
mood.
you've had like 35 pounds of meat like we did before the show, a machito is perfect. If you've had a salad, maybe an Antonio CT. So there's a world of experience, but it's based on you. So I love that answer, Sarah. Thank you so much. Um, William Hart, really, bro? All right, this
Oh,
is
you want?
Ask Sarah.
Always one. Here it comes.
Wie geht is der Hut a band?
Was? Ich verstehe dir nicht.
What?
I didn't understand you.
Of course not. Spanish is the best second language I've got. Could you drop that question in the chat box for Sarah, please? So William Hart, man, you're a douche, bro.
Oh, this is great.
He wants to know our
Ah.
10 different language that we speak in this Zoom call, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I think he asked her where the bathroom is. So,
Not quite. Not quite.
no, so,
William, sehr, sehr gut. Vielen Dank. Und Ihnen, alles gut? Ich hoffe. Aber
Wow, Sarah.
Whatever
she said,
whatever she
bring
said.
out,
So-
bring out the
so
German.
right there for everybody right there in the Zoom, this is what happens when we all speak freaking Spanish with each other. That's what it sounds like to everybody else, bro.
I'll break out the
No,
German.
this is what happens after drinking a couple beers, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's right.
Everyone sounds like they're speaking German. So congratulations to all of our winners. That was a great question, William. Thank you so much, man. We're just joking with you guys, and we had a great time. Sarah, thank you for answering that question. What was the question, if you don't mind, for us German impaired?
He asked how I was doing this evening, and so I said I'm very good. Thank you very much. And I asked how he was.
We're gonna take that question back. Congratulations, William. Thank you so much for
No prizes for heart. No prizes
Yeah,
for heart.
yeah,
Too
no
simple
prizes
the
for heart.
question. Too easy.
Listen. I'm gonna go around the Zoom because I think this has been just such an amazing show. Joey, any last thoughts? What
Yeah.
you got?
We're what, an hour and change in, and nobody is cursed on this show tonight. Nobody. And that
Wait a
is,
second, man. We had an almost.
we had an almost.
Almost.
It's not good enough. So who wants to take the first curse of the night? Say something. Do it.
I want it to be Juan.
Curse in
So
Spanish. Give us
curse
a
in
curse in
Spanish. No one knows what we're saying, coño.
Oh, papá, hijo de la gran puta.
There you go. By the way, everyone understood that one. Okay,
I know. It was intentional. But the emphasis is particular in the ooh. Okay.
Yes, of course. Listen, Juan, I'm going to give you the next thing. But any last thoughts on, listen, what an amazing announcement for 200, the amazing accolades for Hoya. Any last things that we've missed other than the agave fields we're building on the south side facing mountains of Esteli?
That's top secret, man. Don't stop revealing Joey's master plan to dominate the world. No, I just want to thank you guys,
south
Frankie,
facing.
yeah, Frankie, Joey, and the whole crew at Drew Estate, Jack, and Aaron, who probably on the backside there. Thank you for having us. It's always a great pleasure for us. It's an honor to be sharing a little bit of our experience, our life with you guys. It's always fun to be with Frankie. Every once in a while that he invites us is always fun. Stay tuned. 200 is one of the great things that's coming over your way, but also, and I think we didn't go over enough, 20 years ago, Antaño was introduced. This humble brand changed the game for Nicaraguan tobacco and changed the cigar industry for good. So we're very proud of that, and hopefully everybody appreciates what's coming over from Drew Estate and Joya, Nicaragua this year. So thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, everybody. Sarah, always a pleasure. And Jose, thank you for I can't stop saying that Jose is one of our dearest colleagues here in Nicaragua that's facing, hurdles, but at the same time showcasing his passion for beers. And I have to say that I've learned a lot from Jose. He's been a great inspiration, and a lot of the things that I know and I talk about has been copied and plagiarized from him. So thank you very much, Jose, for all that you've done for the Nicaraguan beer industry too, my friend. Henry, Joey, Pedro, great to see you guys.
Pleasure, brother. As always.
Jose, I know as a PhD guy, to hear the term plagiarism, I know makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up because
It's a compliment.
uh,
It's a big compliment, my friend.
in the world of academia, it just puts us on alert, man. Like, so Jose, listen, thank you. I want to thank you for being part of Sticks and Sips and for being a pioneer, my man. The bravery that it takes to do what you do, and we are. I am personally honored to host you today, and thanks to Henry, thanks to Pedro, and to Juan for helping to get you on the show, man. It's definitely an honor.
Thank you, Frank. I'm really honored to hear Juan and you and Pedro and Henry talk so many good things about my project and so many good things about what I'm doing. Um, I believe we all are in a process of building ourselves. So every time people tell me that I'm a history of success on entrepreneurship, I tell people that the very first and most important project you have to entrepreneur is your own self. So thank you for having me here. I invite everybody to entrepreneur yourself and to start doing it today. You can be your own version of yourself today. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me on this show. I really enjoy it. I love a lot. I hope I could be on our next show in the future so I can smoke, uh, hopefully. And well, thank you for that. Namaste, salute. It used to be a Buddhist. So thank you. And thank you all. I really believe that Nicaragua has a lot of potential, has a lot of things to show. And it's not only about our tobacco, but it's about our history, our roots, what made us. And what we have on tobacco, it explains what we are with. And Nicaraguan people is a very beautiful people and people that work really hard. And we're trying to do our best. So let's start it. Let's try to do your own best version of yourself today. Thank you, Frank. Congrats on your show. Thank you, Juan, for those really good words you sent me. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Henry. Joy.
Amen. Yes.
Thank you. And my final word.
Salute.
Salute. My final words. Uh, do you guys know what the best beer in the world is? I mean, the best beer. I mean, the beer that all the brewmasters, all the brewers know that is the best beer in the world. What is it?
I'm
One year.
gonna guess it's the one you're holding.
Yep.
No,
What?
no.
The best beer gotta be the beer that you got for free.
There's a beer.
That's
There is a beer. All the beer, the brewers. There is a beer. All the brewmasters know is the best beer in the world, and we all agree. In Nicaragua slang, we would say "es la bicha que coyotea," which means it's the beer you don't pay. So it's the
Yeah,
beer in your hand. It's the beer you didn't
there
pay.
you go.
So that's the best beer in the world.
So listen, on your next beer, we'll pick up the tab. Salute to you. Love it, love it. So guys, if you take any lesson when you're feeling the world's getting down on you, go to World of Beer and drink 200 beers, and you shall be enlightened too. Thank you, Jose. Uh, Henry, Henry, thank you for being on, brother.
It's always an honor, my friend.
Listen, this is so much better than being on a morning call with you.
Yeah, he better be up early in the morning. We got one in the morning, so better get to bed, Henry.
No,
Yeah.
he's not gonna get up. He's gonna be Moropotente out.
I still got a couple beers to catch up,
All right.
Pedro, my man.
Yo, thank you so very much, brother. Jose, what a beautiful story, man. Amazing product that you got, brother. It's beautiful to see somebody like you putting the name, the Nicaraguan name, and actually in the top of the world, buddy. So I'm looking forward to see your beers right here in the United States. Everybody that has been tuning with us, thank you so very much. This is Frank Moreno, Stick and Sips. all the way to your most comfortable spot in your living room or in your man cave or in your porch or in your bench in front of the fire pit, wherever you at, everybody, thank you so very much. This was Joya de Nicaragua, Drew Stay, and your people right here.
There you go, bro. By the way, he's got no pants on. I'm just saying that right now. He just put on a dress shirt for the show. Thank you, Pedro, for going that far. It was freshly pressed. And the best for last, Sarah, thank you so much for being part of Six and Sips.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate the invite. I don't know if I can compete with what Pedro just did, though.
Unless you've got no pants on, let's just
oh my God, bro!
let it
That's
go.
why I didn't want to
Let it
stand up
go.
in front of the camera,
Let
man,
it
you
go.
know.
Let it go. Sarah, we're super excited that you are with the Hoya family. We're all one family. That's the one thing about Drew Estate and Hoya. We are truly one family, and we're looking at seeing all the great things that you can do with Hoya, and it's good to see you on that team.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Well, listen, I'm not going to sign off just yet, man, because I've got like one super massive announcement to make. So look at who's making his big return to Sticks and Sips.
Yeah, because he's jealous of all the attention we're getting. That's why he's coming back. He hates to be left out.
So yeah, a guy you may know as JD, the founder of Drew Estate, is coming back. So Juan, no knock to you, bro, but you were kind of like the opening act, for the big return, and we saved
That's a big
it,
compliment
man.
for me, man. Don't worry.
So we got JD coming back for Sticks and Sips next week with Kenny Jordan and Patron Tequila. And Jack, should I? Yeah. So listen, next week if you tune in, I think we're gonna give one of these away. So
That's
yeah.
my humidor you're giving away.
Yeah, exactly. We're giving away Joey's humidor. How about that? Next we'll be giving out his
What the heck?
school supplies and stuff. So
Man, last
tune
week
in
you gave
next
away
week.
my bag last week. Now you're gonna
Yes, we gave away your bag last week. So,
Yeah.
it was Ladies of the Liga. It was special. So tune in next week. Sticks and Sips. Listen, I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I want to thank everybody at the Zoom. Guys, I'm beyond honored to have you as a guest, as guests of Sticks and Sips. And but listen, one more thing. Support your local bars and your local tobacconists. They're still going through tough times, man. Not everything's back to normal for everybody. So we all got to do what we can. So support local. Make sure you follow Drew Estate. Follow me if you want to. I really don't care. I'm cool that way. But most importantly, the biggest announcement I have for tonight, the bar's closed.
Ooh.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. See you guys next week.
Good riddance.